Attacked, stabbed, lynched by a mob. Four brothers, Junaid, Hashim, Moeen and Mohsin, left home last Thursday to shop for Eid, but 16-year-old Junaid will never come back home. An argument over seats in a train snowballed. The brothers were allegedly blamed for eating beef, their patriotism questioned, and then reportedly lynched by a mob of over 15 people. Brutally beaten up over a 45-kilometer stretch on board the Delhi-Mathura passenger train, no one came to their rescue. Junaid was left to bleed to death, his brothers grievously injured.
वो बच्चे क्या पिछाड़ेंगे जी, 1-1.5 घंटे के अंदर अंदर उनको तो जान बचानी भारी होगी। उनको तो जो मारा जा रहा है, चक्कुओं से मारा जा रहा है, वो पहचानेंगे क्या उसको? वो पहले ही डरे हुए हैं।
फोन आयो, पता ना कसको आयो। जब मैं नमाज पढ़ रही, मैंने कही कहा होगो नु बालकन को झगड़ो होगो, चक्कू मार दियो।
The inconsolable parents say Eid will never be the same for them again.
4 दिन हो गए आज, तो अब तक 5 दिन होने जाने, ये बृहस्पतिवार का मामला है। बृहस्पतिवार, शुक्र, शनिवार, इतवार, सोमवार, 5 दिन हो गए। 5 दिन में तक अभी तक जो मुजरिम है वो खुले डोल रहे।
ऐसा नहीं है कि घटना पहली बार हुई है, इससे पहले भी बहुत सारी घटनाएं हो चुकी है। तो गवर्नमेंट इस चीज़ का इनिशिएट ले कि इस तरह की घटनाएं आगे ना हो।
We are from all the possible angles and daily suspected people are being interrogated and hopefully more arrest will be made in this case. The incident happened in moving train and in public view also. So it is there is every possibility that somebody might have made some videography or photography. So that will help in the investigation of the case and that will be very important.
A tussle over seats gets ugly. A teenager is stabbed, lynched, bleeds to death in full public view on board a passenger train. On the Urban Debate, we ask, what were the police doing as Junaid and his brothers were beaten up for over 45 kilometers in a train? What were passengers doing? Has India become so intolerant that we stand by and watch a teenager bleed to death? Mirror Now report.
You're watching the Urban Debate on Mirror Now. That's the question we're asking this evening. Where was the railway police when this train went through 4 stations? Where was the railway police when these boys were being beaten mercilessly for nearly 2 hours, for 45 kilometers in that train? What were the other people in the train doing? Why is it that when the boys pulled the chain of that train, the train did not stop and they got no help whatsoever? Have we completely crumbled as a society? That's the question we're asking this evening. We're joined right now, and we have a reporter on the ground in the village in question with Muhammad Hashim, the brother of the victim, who's also injured. Unfortunately, and Apurva, our reporter, is with him. Apurva, unfortunately, we cannot wish him happy Eid. Eid Mubarak nahi bol sakte unko. वो खुद तकलीफ में है, वो खुद घायल है, and he's still speaking to us. Please ask him, you know, what happened on that train? Why didn't anybody come to his aid and to his brother's aid? And even after they stopped and got off and managed to get off at one of those stations, how long was it before they received any sort of help?
Right, Faye. I'm joined by Muhammad Hashim, who was right there with his brother Junaid, who was a part of that entire scuffle that took place. आप बताइए उस दिन ट्रेन में क्या हुआ था? आप कितने बजे चढ़े थे ट्रेन में? पूरा हादसा हमें बताइए।
हम शॉपिंग करने के लिए दिल्ली गए थे, तो वापसी में आ रहे थे, 5:30 बजे की ट्रेन थी। तो ट्रेन खाली थी, सदर से हम बैठे थे, तो ट्रेन खाली थी, हम बैठ गए सीटों पर, फेस टू फेस 2-2 बैठ गए हम। तो हम बैठ गए तो लूडो गेम खेल रहे थे। अच्छा। मोबाइल में। तो वहाँ से जब लूडो गेम खेल रहे थे तो आगे चली ट्रेन, तो एक बुज़ुर्ग आया, उन्होंने कहा बेटे मेरे को सीट दे दो। तो उसके लिए सीट दे दी जुनैद ने। तो जुनैद खड़ा हो गया। तो ओखला तक ट्रेन बुक हो गई थी। तो ओखला से जब 20-25 बंदे चढ़े हो तो एकदम धक्का मुक्की मारने लग गए। तो जुनैद को भी धक्का मारा उन्होंने। तो हमने यही कहा तुम धक्के क्यों मार रहे हो? तो उन्होंने मेरे सर पे टोपी देख के कहा अब तुम मुल्ले हो, कटल्ले हो, बीफ खाते हो और पाकिस्तानी हो, देशद्रोही हो, तो उन्होंने ये लफ्ज़ इस्तेमाल किया। हमने कहा आप ऐसे क्यों कहते हो आप? तो उन्होंने बस ये फुरोर मारना चालू किया। तो तुगलकाबाद तक यही मारते हुए लाए थे। तो उन्होंने 15 और भी कुछ लोग थे, उन्होंने हमको मारा था। तो हमने फिर अपने भाई को फ़ोन किया, आप भैया हेल्प के लिए या फिर सामान उतरवाने के लिए आ जाओ बल्लभगढ़। तो वो आया बल्लभगढ़, तो हमें तो उतरने ही नहीं दिया बल्लभगढ़ में। तो वो जैसे चढ़ा हमें उतारने के लिए, वो भी अंदर खींच लिया। तो वो भी अंदर जब खींच लिया तो उसको भी मारा पीटा। तो जैसे ही बल्लभगढ़ से ट्रेन चली तो वहाँ से चाकू मारना चालू कर दिया उन्होंने। तो पहले शाकिर भाई को मारा, फिर जुनैद भाई को। मैं भी गया तो मेरे को भी 2-3 चाकू लगे। तो जैसे असौटी आई तो वहाँ पे मार मूर के हमको फेंक दिया गया था।
हमें ये बताइए, आपको जब असौटी आने के बाद आपको फेंक दिया गया था, कितने देर में पुलिस प्रशासक आपके पास पहुंची? कितना टाइम लगा उनको पहुंचने में?
वहाँ पे जब हमको फेंक दिया गया था कम तकरीबन 15 मिनट तो यही हम कहते रहे हमारी हेल्प करो। कोई भी हेल्प नहीं कर रहा था। तो एक बेचारा कबाड़ी था, तो उन्होंने जुनैद को और उठाया। मैंने और मैं और कबाड़ी ने उसको जुनैद को उठाया था। तो वहाँ पे जब 3-4 प्लेटफार्म पे, वहाँ से ऊपर सब हम ले गए थे उसको उठा के। तो वहाँ से जब लिटा दिया था प्लेटफार्म से, वहाँ से ले गए थे हम बाहर। तो वहाँ पे हम कह रहे थे कोई एम्बुलेंस को फ़ोन करो या फिर पुलिस को बुलाओ। कोई भी मदद नहीं कर रहा था। तो मेरा रोज़ा था, 17 घंटे का रोज़ा होता है मेरा। तो मैंने भी पानी मांगा था रोज़ा खोलने के लिए। तो बेचारा वही कबाड़ी 2 रुपये की थैली दुकान से लाया था।
तब तक कोई भी पुलिस प्रशासक असौटी के पास कोई भी रेलवे पुलिस के प्रशासक के आपके पास आए थे इस दौरान?
नहीं, अभी तक तो कोई नहीं आया था। वो तो हमने एम्बुलेंस को फ़ोन लगाया तो आधे घंटे के बाद एम्बुलेंस आई थी।
अच्छा, हमें ये बताइए, जब आप ट्रेन के अंदर थे, जब उन लोगों ने आपको बेरहमी से मारा था, क्या आसपास के कोई भी पैसेंजर्स थे या कोई भी थे जो आपके बचाव में आए थे?
कोई भी नहीं आया और हमने हेल्प भी मांगी थी। तो उन्होंने
क्या बोला?
ये मुसलमान है, मारो इनको, बीफ खाते हैं ये।
So there you heard it, Faye. This is the kind of ordeal that they went through, and what is more shocking is the fact that the police did not even reach the spot. Ambulance came half an hour late while they carried the body of Junaid to the hospital with the help of another person, and that is what happened in this entire duration that even Hashim and even the parents here have been narrating to us. Back to you.
Apurva, please ask him, of course, that they were on that train for a very long time, 45 kilometers from what we understand. There were obviously other passengers on the train. They might have attempted to pull the chain. Some reports say that they pulled the chain of the train to get it to stop because they were trying to get off, but it wouldn't stop. They didn't get any help from the railway police. Ask him why, or if they called for help, what the reaction was from their fellow passengers and from any official who might have been in those various train stations that they passed along the way.
आप ये बताइए कि जब आपके साथ बेरहमी से वो लोग मारने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, तो किसी ने वहाँ ट्रेन की चेन खींचने की कोशिश की, और आसपास के जो आपके को पैसेंजर्स थे, क्या उनका रिएक्शन क्या था? क्या उन्होंने आपको बचाने की किसी तरीके की कोशिश की? पैसेंजर्स हो, शायद कोई रेलवे के अफसर हो, कोई भी थे जिन्होंने आपको बचाने की कोशिश की?
कोई भी नहीं था वहाँ पे, तो पब्लिक ही थी। तो हमको पकड़ के उसी की तरफ फेंक रहे थे जो चाकू मार रहा था। हेल्प कौन करेगा? वहाँ पे सब मारने वाले थे।
तो क्या किसी ने चेन खींचने की कोशिश की थी उसमें?
कोशिश की हमारे बंदे ने, एक ने, जो शायद जुनैद भाई ने की थी, जन किसी दूसरे ने की थी। ट्रेन वो उसकी बेकार होती हो चैन।
और वहाँ पे जितने भी लोग थे वो आपको उसी तरफ खींच रहे थे जहाँ पे मार रहे थे?
जो मुझे खुद पकड़ने वाले बंदे थे, पकड़ के मुझे मार रहे थे, और भाई जुनैद को भी, शाकिर को भी। जैसा हम पीछे की तरफ हट रहे थे, पीछे से लोग हमको फेंक रहे थे उसकी तरफ।
Right, you heard it, Frey. He's saying that the fact that nobody came out to help, in fact, they were throwing these guys towards that direction so that they can be more ruthlessly beaten up. The chain did not work. In fact, the attempt to pull the chain was also made by the 4 brothers, and it was not even the fellow passengers. None of them took cognizance of what was happening. The apathy on full display, while nobody did anything to save Junaid. Back to you.
And Apurva, of course, the police tells us they're doing everything they can. We understand that these brothers are being called to the police station to identify possible accused every day, but only one person has been arrested so far, and that one person claims that he was drunk. So does he believe that the police is doing their job, given the fact that his account of what happened suggests that there were more than just one person, perhaps more than 15? How does he feel about the fact that only one person has been picked up, and does he believe that the police has been honest about doing their job so far?
क्या आपको लगता है पुलिस प्रशासक जिन्होंने अभी तक सिर्फ एक इंसान को गिरफ्तार किया है, क्या वो अपना काम सही ढंग से कर रहे हैं? क्या आपको लग रहा है किसी तरीके से वो इस चीज़ को दबाने की कोशिश कर रही है?
अभी तो हमने नहीं लगा दबाने की कोशिश कर रही है, अभी तक तो नहीं लगा, अच्छे काम कर रही है।
बट जैसा कि आपने हमें बताया कि वहाँ पे करीबन 15 से 20 जन थे जिन्होंने आपके साथ ये दुष्कर्म किया, जिन्होंने जुनैद को इतनी बुरी तरीके से मारा, जिन्होंने आपको मारा, बट उनमें से सिर्फ एक इंसान को अभी तक उन्होंने पकड़ा है। क्या लगता है आपको इस पूरे पुलिस की जो जितनी भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है, क्या लगता है आपको इस बारे में?
अभी तक तो पुलिस अपना काम सही कर रही है वैसे, और जो पकड़ा गया था उसी ने मेरी टोपी और दाढ़ी पकड़ने की कोशिश की थी। टोपी तो उसने फेंकी दी थी सर पे से, उसी ने, जो बंदा पकड़ा है।
So as he's saying that the guy who has been arrested, the man who's been arrested by the police was in fact the man who tried to take his cap off and throw it, and also started beating up the fellow passengers. But he believes that the police are probably doing their work. Of course, the family members have also said that they are looking forward for the police to nab all the perpetrators of the crime, and the only demand that they have is justice for Junaid and his family members. Back to you.
All right, Apurva, thank you for joining us. And of course, we know that, that they are still grieving and they are in pain because they are all recovering from similar injuries that Junaid succumbed to. Apurva there at Balabgarh with the family. She will stay with the family through the course of this show. The question we are asking is very simple. How did the knives get on the train? How did so many people enter a train in possession of weapons? Why is it that nobody came to help? Shouldn't we have a railway police on the job? Shouldn't there be railway police at various train stations? Reports suggest that the train bogie that this young man was killed in was soaked in blood. The story that we were just told by the victim's brother, that other passengers were shoving them towards their attackers and not allowing them to get off the train. Is this the world we live in? Is this truly our India? Why has lynching become almost routine now in our country? It's in a newspaper almost every morning. We have to realize that the victim here was a 16-year-old boy, a child. And there is no mercy, no forgiveness for the people who did this. What the family wants is justice. And we're going to insist that they receive justice as soon as possible. Joining us on the show this evening, Raman Malik, spokesperson of the Haryana BJP, Sanjay Jha, spokesperson of the Congress Party, Kavita Srivastav, National General Secretary of the People's Union of Civic Liberties, Vikram Singh, former DGP Uttar Pradesh, Ramakant Gaur, senior lawyer at the Supreme Court. Samsaduddin is the president of a Muslim Mandal. I want to welcome all of you to this conversation. Vikram Singh, a 16-year-old, was lynched to death and left to bleed to death in a moving train where other passengers shoved him towards his attacker and refused to let him get away. So many failures of law and order, Vikram Singh.
Murder and assault most foul. I would fault the law enforcement agencies on 3 counts. The police helpline was dysfunctional. The railway helpline was dysfunctional. The emergency chain did not function at all. And last but not the least, you put a very natural question. It is highly unusual and unnatural for daily passengers to carry knives. And to have an assault of this magnitude, what kind of police patrolling, picketing and presence do you have to have such a horrific assault in a moving train like this. Then you have passengers, co-passengers, whose duty was to protect those who were being victimized and brutalized. They not only were spectators, I would not say spectators, they were conniving with the incident in the sense that they obstructed the free movement of the victims, and therefore they are equally to blame and are equally complicit in the whole crime. And therefore they should be charged under 120. After 4 days, no announcement of rewards on the accused, just one arrest. The police had had every opportunity to interrogate him, thoroughly put him through narco analysis, get to the bottom of who the co-conspirators and the co-accused are. What have we? No test identification parades, no pictures, no drawing board portraits, building exercises. What kind of, and then you have Surat Singh, he has given pearls of wisdom, the SHO of GRP, that the police, it's a moving train and it is the largest train network in the world. You can't expect the police, nobody expects the police to be everywhere, but we do expect the police to give a secure environment. We do expect the police to come when we are called for help. We do expect the police to nab the culprits in time and not give escape routes and alibis to the people.
You know, I want to bring in Vikram. I want to bring Ramakant Gaur because Vikram Singh said something really important. Ramakant Gaur, he said Section 120, which basically is criminal conspiracy. He's talking about the other passengers in the train, which Junaid's brother just told us did not allow them to get off the train. In fact, shoved them towards the people who were attacking them with knives. Do you believe that every passenger in that bogie should be charged with Section 120?
See, basically, I would not, I would respectfully disagree with my learned friend. I would say, since the victims themselves have said that this was a group of 15-20 people, and in such a small space, 15-20 people causes and create the unlawful assembly. These 15-20 people created an environment which have caused the panic in the entire bogie. So, as far as the role of these 15-20 people or little more may be examined, and they may be punished as per the provisions of law. But what is more unfortunate, this incident started in the capital of the country. You see, these boys started their journey from Sadar Bazaar, which is the hub of the business. The criminals, boarded the train in Okhla, which is again an industrial part of the capital, and there they carried the weapons. They become the part of unlawful assembly. They created all the nonsensical, cruel, maniacal acts. So, if this is the situation of the country, and then we don't have the GRP running in the train, then what is happening in this country? We may have so many politicians, and I would congratulate this channel for agitating this issue against the current. What is happening in the media, and this channel, I would congratulate you on the Festival of Brotherhood, that yes, this is the right time to teach them a lesson, teach these not only the criminal a lesson, but also the erring police officials and the other administrative officials also, and we see no actions being taken against them. More so, ambulance has not reached in time.
Yes.
This is also the failure of the health department. So, if there is no help to the victim, if there is no protection to the victims, then you are right. We are living into a system where the systems are failed. There is no system.
Kavita Srivastava, National General Secretary of the PUCL. Thank you for joining us, Kavita. Failure of so many systems, and I'm still concerned at the fact that these people got on a train carrying knives. I want to understand under what circumstance people need to get on a train carrying knives. Were they looking for trouble? Were they looking for possible victims? What was their intention, Kavita? The fact that the police is still assuming that this was a mob that got out of hand. It was not a mob. Mobs do not walk around carrying knives. This was not a mob. This was murder. When are we going to call it what it is? The longer we call it mob, the longer we call it vigilante, the longer we call it, Gorakshaks or whatever we want to call these people, we desensitize what this really is. This was murder of a child. There were 16 people who got on a train with knives in their hands to murder a child. They found this child and they killed him. This is completely unforgivable. Sanjay Jha, I'm going to take the question to Sanjay Jha when we get Kavita's audio up. Sanjay Jha, we have to call this what it is.
If I can, kind of bite the bullet on this one, Faye, we are not anymore a democracy. The way we are conducting ourselves, India is becoming a mobocracy. Please remember, this is not a law and order issue at all. That is a collateral aspect of this entire debate. The fundamental point is that the people who killed the young Junaid Khan targeted the entire family of brothers, calling them beef eaters. You're back to the old strategy of the majoritarian hardline fundamentalists in the country who are using this whole concept of cow vigilantism to do minority hunting. I mean, this is crude, this is vulgar, this is violent, and no matter how much all of us sit on this TV channel today and deplore the incident, I want to tell you this with great candidness. It is not going to stop because I don't think the people at the helm of affairs want it to stop. But what are you witnessing? I remember going in several debates when Muhammad Akhlaq was killed in Dadri. Nothing changed. Pehlu Khan was killed not many months ago, Faye, you are aware of that, in Rajasthan. And you had a minister in the cabinet who went and said in parliament, I don't think that incident even happened. So what you're witnessing today is some kind of a brute mentality which is being, kind of completely channelized towards what we call as a pornography of violence and hate. And it's unfortunate, it's tragic that end of day you have a 15-year-old boy who went shopping to Delhi for Eid for his family and gets killed where he may not have probably even known at the end of his life what did he die for, what was his fault other than the fact that he was wearing a skull cap. That's the reality that we need to face, that we are in an age of very dangerous divisive politics, and until people at the helm of affairs until they take action, which they won't, because it suits their larger game plan of keeping society polarized. That's the reality.
I want to bring in Raman Malik to respond to Sanjay Jha. Right, let me bring in Raman Malik to respond to you, Sanjay Jha.
But there is a larger problem.
Raman Malik, we know that not long ago, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, the law minister... Yes, Raman Malik, let me finish my question. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, the law minister, put out a statement saying we will not tolerate this, the government will not tolerate this sort of crime. But I also want to point out that the railways minister, given that the crime took place in the train, has said nothing. The home minister has said nothing. And I also want you to respond, Raman Malik, to this. The SHO, or the station house officer, and I'm quoting out of the Times of India, said, one of them called an ambulance when his brother was stabbed. Such things happen. Whenever there is a riot or a fight, such things happen. People say communal things. We can't do anything. This is the response of the police. Now, if the police are going to respond in this manner, what hope do ordinary citizens have, Raman Malik?
First of all, Faye, let me put certain things very clear. This narrative that is being implied here to form a fact that this is a lynching based on religion is totally wrong and it's malified.
Malified how?
Second,
Malified how?
one must understand
Malified
that
how?
this is a crime. It is a crime. It is a crime. Please let me finish. Do not interrupt. Let me finish. If it is a crime which has happened on the train, yes, it is deplorable. The child who is lost, irrespective of his religion, is a child, and we are sorry that it has happened. The most important thing is what you said. What you said was that 15-20 people board the train in Okhla with a knife. How are you sure that they boarded the train with the knife? Because if I understand the sequence of events, they were probably daily passengers. Do these kind of incidents keep happening every day? Third, a very important factor. Why did it happen that from here till Balabgarh, no killing happened? Had the intention of killing, they would have done it anywhere in between. Why after Balabgarh?
The argument you're making, Raman Malik, I don't understand the argument you're making. We just heard the victim's brother on the channel say that he was called a beefeater, say that he was called a Muslim. They pulled his beard, they threw his skull cap on the floor. He said very clearly he bore witness to his brother's murder. What are you disputing, Raman Malik?
I have heard Hindu, Kafir or Hindustani. Hindu, Kafir or Hindustani traveling in Kashmir, I've heard. So regional slurs and religious slurs by people who are not matured is a common practice.
How does that make it okay that a 16-year-old boy was killed?
But I am not okay with this narrative being put that this is a this is a religious thing. No, this is not. This is a criminal act.
Well, let me point out to you, Raman Malik, according to the Constitution of India, even if it is a religious thing, it is still a criminal act.
It is a criminal act, and the narrative being set is that it is done with religious malified intention to stop somebody or to hate somebody based on religion, and that is what is wrong. Let's understand, one, that it is a crime. Two, it happened with that unfortunate boy. Three, there were two religions involved, people from two religions involved. Fourth, there was a call for reinforcements. Five, the Delhi part generally, that is what my understanding is, all the stations have these metal detectors, and if these boys were carrying it or somehow those were there, how did the knife come in from the metal detector? That is an important question. The other question is, and which should not be forgotten.
Why are you asking the questions, Raman Malik? You represent the government. You should be providing answers. Why are you asking the questions? Here are my questions. How did the knives get into the train station? How did the knives get on the train? Why were there 15 people who got on a train with knives in their hands? What were their plans? Were they going to cut apples on those trains? Is that why they had knives in their hands? They also then have a bag of apples. Where is the evidence? Why is it that the SHO said that there was nothing he could do? Why is it the railway police was not available? Why did the train not stop when the chain was pulled? Why is it that after these boys got off at the last station, they were still stabbed and left to bleed? Why didn't the ambulance show up on time? And where were the police? Now, here are my questions. I'm glad, Raman Malik, that you are in the mood to ask questions. I'll tell you who these questions should be asked of. These questions should be asked of the government of the day, not of me or of anybody else in the panel, because we are all concerned citizens and we do not run any of the states in question. Kavita Srivastav now joins us. Kavita Srivastav, shocking response. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to try and find out which audio we have right now and which guest we can go to. Vikram Singh, the religion of the victim does in no way change the manner of the crime or the type of the crime or the kind of justice that should fall on the heads of those people who did this. I don't understand why we are discussing narrative. A crime has been committed and it should be treated with the same level of curiosity.
Because the narrative is being said.
May I tell you, there are two or three things about investigation and about law.
India,
I want to hear what Mr. Vikram Singh has to say.
Your group newspaper carried. No. I want Vikram Singh, sir. Vikram Singh, sir, before you start, let me also put another issue. That the day this happened and the newspaper, Times of India, carried this report, there were two reports, beef lynching, and second was a small caption about the killing of the DSP in Srinagar, Panditaji. Now I want to understand what was more important and how this was being set. Is the narrative behind it?
Okay, Raman Malik, Raman Malik, Mr. Vikram Singh, let's ask our questions again. Let's ask our questions again.
This is a repugnant statement by him. Are we comparing the intensity of the crime?
No, Vikram Singh, Sanjay Jha, I'm not going to allow this. I'm not going to derail this conversation talking about religion. It doesn't matter. How did the knives get on the trains? How did 15 people get on a train with knives in their hands? Where was the railway police? Where was the railway police at the stations? Why did the train stop when the train was pulled? Why is it that after these boys got off at the station, they were still stabbed? Why is it the ambulance didn't come? Why is it that the police didn't come to the train station? Here are the questions. It does not matter, Raman Malik, what you say about religion. These are the questions that have to be answered. Vikram Singh, let's not get derailed tonight.
Faye, Mr. Raman Malik, yes, indeed, you have put very pertinent questions. They need to be answered. And anybody who sets out to answer these questions would have the yes, each case is important. The assault and the murder of Ayub Pandit is equally significant as also this. I would not like to say that, but I would like to go into the criminology of the whole case. The religion of the victim and the accused are relevant in the sense that they ascribe a motive. Here in the case, since we are discussing Ballabgarh, we will say that when the man says that he removed my cap, he tried to catch hold of my beard. He said that you eat beef, you are Pakistanis, and you are anti-national. These are things to be noted of, and any investigator worth his salt will make a note of this in his case diaries and it put it before the court, because that says the mindset of the accused, and therefore it is relevant and very, very pertinent. Agreed, it is extremely unfortunate.
Vikramji, as per the... Vikramji, yes, the incident is unfortunate. All these points that you are you are speaking about has been noted in the FIR. The SIT has been ordered, and furthermore, I am telling you, anybody who is found doing this crime, it is not...
I want to, okay, one second, I want to take this to Kavita Srivastava. Kavita Srivastava, the representative of the government, keeps using the word unfortunate. The word unfortunate means unlucky. Junaid Khan was not unlucky. Junaid Khan, this was not a turn of bad luck. This were criminals. These were criminals, Kavita Srivastava. We should call them what they are. They're criminals.
Yes, they are criminals.
Kavita, can you, yes, go ahead.
Absolutely. Now let's understand, let's not see Junaid's as a one-off incident. This was the 12th. Start counting from March itself. This is the 12th serious lynching in the name of the cow. And I think the BJP is not worried at all, and the RSS and the entire Hindutva cabal is programming people that when they meet Muslims, they just attack them. I think today's Eid, while I really want to wish everybody Eid Mubarak, Eid talks of compassion and forgiveness, having said that, I would also like to state that Muslims belong to India. However hard the BJP and all its friends and may try and say that we will eliminate. I want to say Hindustan Musalmanon ka hai, and this lynching has to stop. These are criminals. These are just
Hindustan har us Hindu ka hai, koi bhi dharm karta hai.
No, you have created that culture. You have created that culture. You have created that culture. Please accept it.
Raman Malik, I want silence on this panel for a second, please. I want silence on this panel for a second, please. We are joined by Mr. Jalaluddin Khan, who is the father of the victim, the father of Raman Malik. Kavita Srivastava, Raman Malik, give me a moment, please.
No, this cannot be tolerated. Why is she taking name of RSS and BJP into it? Has she got any proof?
Okay, I'm going to, Raman Malik, I'm going to ask you one more time for silence out of respect for the young man who has lost his life. I'm going to cut Raman Malik's audio because I think it's disrespectful. Mr. Jalaluddin Khan is the father of the victim of young Junaid. Mr. Khan, Jalaluddin ji, हमसे बात करने के लिए शुक्रिया. अफसोस की बात ये है कि मैं आपको ईद मुबारक भी नहीं दे सकती हूँ अभी.
शुक्रिया मैडम.
आप हमें ये समझाइए, जुनैद कैसा लड़का था? आपका लड़का था, कैसा था? हमें समझाइए कि जब वो बच्चा था कैसा था?
वो मेरा बच्चा बहुत अच्छा था. जुनैद नाम था. बहुत ही अच्छी पढ़ाई करता था. मैं उससे पूछता था कौन सी डिग्री पास करोगे, वो बोलता था मैं कारी बनूंगा. ऐसे बोलते थे मेरे से.
जलालुद्दीन जी, क्या आपको लगता है पुलिस अपने काम कर रही है अभी? क्योंकि आपके दूसरे बेटे ने हमें बताया कि 15-20 जन थे कम से कम, और पुलिस ने अभी तक एक ही जन का अरेस्ट किया है। क्या आपको लगता है कि उन्हें और तेजी से काम करनी चाहिए इस केस में? जलालुद्दीन जी, मेरी आवाज़ आप तक आ रही है?
जी,
मुझे आप ये बताइए, ये हादसा को लेके काफ़ी सारे रिपोर्टें आ रहे हैं कि शायद ट्रेन की सीटों के बारे में लड़ाई हुई थी लड़कों के बीच में, लेकिन आपको क्या लगता है कि ये लड़ाई किस चीज़ के बारे में हुई थी? All right, we seem to have lost that connection. We're going to try and get Mohammed Jalaluddin back on the line again. He's the father of the victim who told us, and this is the important part, viewers, this is what I wanted to communicate to you today. A 16-year-old boy who was really happy because he achieved a level of education of reciting the Quran, and his parents gave him money to go buy something new for Eid. This is what he was celebrating. He went out with his brothers to buy something new for Eid, and he was on his way back home. We all have or have had at some point 16-year-old boys in our own home. This was a child. Here are parents who've lost their son, who left home in the morning and never came back. How can we possibly, on this night of Eid, be sitting around and discussing narratives? You discuss narratives when you're writing a Bollywood film. You discuss narratives when you're writing a stage play. These are lives we are talking about. These are real human beings. When we read it in our newspapers, and this is the thing that's upsetting, when we read it in our newspapers, it has now become a column that says lynching. It says Gorakshaks. And the statement that I hate the most, vigilantes. These are not vigilantes. They're not bringing justice. We must not let them off the hook by calling them any less than murderers. These are murderers. I'm told right now that Mohammed Jalaluddin is back on the line with us. Jalaluddin जी, मुझे बताइए कि ये जो 15 लोग थे जो ट्रेन पे चढ़े चाकू के साथ, ये चाकू लेके ट्रेन पे क्यों चढ़े थे? पुलिस ने आपको क्या बताया अब तक?
मैम एक बात बताइए, अब मेरी ये गाड़ी बस में सवारी में मुझे क्या पता ये चाकू लेके चढ़ रहे हैं या हथियार लेके चढ़ रहे हैं। मेरे बच्चे इनको सोना रहा था, ये हथियार लेके खड़े हैं यहाँ पे। मेरे से तो ऐसे पूछ रहे थे, हमने रख दिया वो हथियार उनकी जेबन में।
और मोहम्मद जी, क्या आपको लगता है कि अगर आपके बेटे को टाइम से हेल्प मिला था, कि एम्बुलेंस अगर आई थी, पुलिस अगर टाइम से आई थी, रेलवे पुलिस अगर टाइम से आई थी, तो शायद वो आज जिंदा होते, शायद उनकी जान बच जाती?
मैम, चाहे पुलिस टाइम पर आती, चाहे एम्बुलेंस टाइम पर आती, कोई भी टाइम पर आता, वो तो ट्रेन में ही कत्ल कर दिया गया था। ट्रेन में ही सांस नहीं थे उसके, जो मेरे बच्चे बता रहे थे।
आपको अभी जलालुद्दीन जी, मैं आपसे एक ही सवाल पूछूंगी अभी आपको गवर्नमेंट से और पुलिस से क्या उम्मीद है?
गवर्नमेंट से मेरे को मैं तो गवर्नमेंट से ये कहूँगा, उनको जल्द से जल्द पकड़ा जाए, उनको सज़ा मिली चाहिए तगड़ी से तगड़ी। गवर्नमेंट से तो मेरा ये कहना है।
और हमारे जो अभी पैनल पे गवर्नमेंट के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बैठे, उनका कहना है कि ये गलत बात है कि जुनैद को मुसलमान होने की वजह से मारा गया था, आपकी बाकी बेटियों को इसलिए मारा क्योंकि वो मुसलमान हैं, उनको ट्रेन की सीट की वजह से मारा था। आपके ख्याल में क्या सच है?
किस लिए मारा गया फिर? नहीं, मैं मेरी बात सुनो, मेरी बात तो सुनो। वो चलो मुसलमान के खाते ना मारे गए, वो कैसे मारे गए, वो किस हिसाब से मारे गए, उनको पूछिए, पुलिस को पूछिए इस बात को।
रमन मलिक, आई वांट यू राइट नाउ टू रियलाइज। हाँ, जलालुद्दीन जी हमारे साथ बने रहिए। हमारे साथ बीजेपी के रमन मलिक है, वो आपसे डायरेक्टली बात करेंगे। रमन मलिक, व्हाट रिस्पॉन्स विल यू गिव दिस मैन हु हैज लॉस्ट हिज चाइल्ड?
मैं सिर्फ इतना बोलूँगा कि बच्चा किसी का भी हो, जब माँ बाप उसको बड़ा करते हैं, ताउम्र उसके ऊपर लगा देते हैं, अपनी पूरी शिद्दत से उसको बड़ा करते हैं। किसी को भी अपना बच्चा, चाहे लड़का हो या लड़की हो, जाना बुरा लगता है, और वो गांव का, समाज का, सबका बच्चा होता है। ये जो वाक़या हुआ है साहब, इसके लिए मेरी संतावना, मेरा सब कुछ, सारी दुआएं आपके साथ हैं कि आप इस दुख में से निकलें। लेकिन ये इसलिए नहीं हुआ कि ये कोई हिंदू मुस्लिम का फसाद था। ये वहाँ पे झगड़ा हुआ, झगड़े होने के बाद जो आगे चलता गया, और बच्चों ने जो संयम बरतना चाहिए था, बच्चे अपना संयम, चाहे वो जो 15 लोग थे वो भी किसी के बच्चे हैं, जो आपका बच्चा गया वो आपका बेटा, बाकी लोग जो बाद में फ़ोन में करके आए वो भी, बच्चों को संयम बरतना चाहिए था। हम सारे के सारे माँ बाप जो हैं, बच्चों को बड़ा करते हुए उम्र लगा देते हैं और ये संयम नहीं रखते। लेकिन जो हुआ है वो कत्ल से कम कुछ नहीं है, और वो कत्ल और कातिल को ये सरकार ज़रूर पकड़ेगी, उसको सज़ा इबरतनाक दी जाएगी। इसके अलावा अगर इसको कोई और शख्स हिंदू मुस्लिम फसाद का देना चाहे रंग, तो मैं वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं करता, मैं उसको मानता नहीं हूँ।
रमन मलिक जी, आपके मानने से या ना मानने से ये कहानी तो बदलने वाली नहीं है। जितने सारे लोग थे, जितने सारे जुनैद के भाई हैं, उन्होंने साफ यही कहा, प्रेस से भी कहा, पुलिस से भी कहा, जो हुआ वही हुआ।
रमन मलिक जी, कोई सिस्टम भी काम नहीं कर रहा है, वो भी तो काम नहीं कर रहा है ना।
अंदर भेज दो।
सर, आपकी इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए आपको बता दूं, SIT फॉर्म होके ऑलरेडी इधर there are 5 teams who are already operating on various grounds, and let me tell you, these 5 teams are of highly credible officers and they are on the job. It is not so that they are not looking at it. It is being investigated as a cold-blooded murder, and we are not going to leave the culprits around. Whatever, the Constitution does not permit you to even abuse somebody. How dare you kill somebody? So that is the notion, that is the simple thing. But people who want to give it a communal color, we will not also tolerate them.
All right. Raman Malik, let me point out to you, April 1st, 2017, Rajasthan, a mob attacked 15 people as they were transporting cows in Alwar district, ultimately leading to the death of one Pehlu Khan. May 1st, 2017, Guwahati, a mob allegedly lynched 2 men in Assam after they suspected to be cattle thieves. In one case of cow vigilantes, such extreme states, one of them died.
Now Alwar and everything will come. Let those cases,
in Bamar in Rajasthan, one person was beaten to death as 2 groups clashed over land disputes. I am not calling out anybody's religion here. May 31st, Jamshedpur, 4 people beaten to death on suspicion of kidnapping of children. June 18th, Rajasthan.
Then even this
a CPIML member turned activist was allegedly lynched to death in Rajasthan by government officials after he came to the rescue of women who were being photographed. June 23rd, 2017, a police officer in J&K was lynched by an angry mob after he opened fire.
Why did the governments of the day, police officers and various people, even you, sir, Mr. Vikram Singh, allowed those things to happen? UP had a ban since last how many years?
I beg your pardon, sir. I really don't know what you are talking about.
Sir,
and it's my painful...
UP had a beef ban for how many years?
Raman as Malik, long as I can remember.
Raman Malik with Mr. Jalaluddin.
All that I'm saying is the narrative being chosen is wrong. The narrative being chosen is wrong. Let's talk about the crime. Let's
just talk about the crime. If I may have just
right, okay, hang on, one second. We're deviating from the subject and this is the problem. Raman Malik, I'm going to come back to you and I want to remind our panel whether or not you can see the screen. It's basic human courtesy. Basic human courtesy should teach you, if you didn't learn when you were in school, that when you are in the presence of a family member who has just lost a loved one, that you treat their emotions with more care. Now, I do not want to get derailed by anything else other than the fact that this sort of lynching has become commonplace in our country and it is no worse than murder and we must put a stop to it. I remind you one more time, Raman Malik, that Mohammed Jalaluddin is on this show and he can hear you. I will come back to you when you are ready to be more respectful. Vikram Singh, go ahead.
I am with the father, even I am a father, Faye. I am with the father and I want these killers to be given a punishment that
Mr.
entire
Malik,
world
you can show some sensitivity today.
But I am not ready to accept this.
Stop appearing like a cold, callous, calculating spokesperson here.
Well, Vikram Singh, I want to hear what Vikram Singh has to say. Vikram Singh, please speak in Hindi so Mr. Jalaluddin can understand you as well. Vikram Singh, go ahead.
जलालुद्दीन साहब, हम लोग बहुत गमज़दा और शर्मिंदा हैं इस दर्दनाक हादसे को लेकर के। आपका बेटा जुनैद मरहूम हाफिज़ कुरान था, अल्लाह मियाँ उसको जन्नत अता फरमाए और हमारे पास कोई लफ्ज़ नहीं है कि आपके गम में हम शिरकत कर सकें, लेकिन आमीन ये दुआ करते हैं और ये पूरी कोशिश भी करेंगे जलालुद्दीन साहब कि मुल्ज़िमान जल्द से जल्द पकड़े जाएं और कानून के आगे दस्तयाब हों। और ये हम सब की पुरज़ोर रमन मलिक साहब भी यहीं वो भी कह रहे हैं कि वो भी बच्चों के वालिद हैं, बहुत दर्द है उनके दिल में कि इस हादसे को लेकर के, और उन्होंने ज़ुबान दी है कि इंतज़ामिया से गुजारिश करके वो कातिलों को जल्द से जल्द सलाह के पीछे पहुंचवाएंगे। हमारी कुछ चीज़ों पर नाइत्तेफाकी हो सकती है, लेकिन वो नाइत्तेफाकी इतनी बड़ी नहीं है कि मुल्ज़िम छूट जाए या खुला छूटे। और इसके बारे में रमन मलिक साहब बड़े ज़िम्मेदार और संजीदा प्रवक्ता हैं और उन्होंने ये ज़ुबान दी है। और मैं समझता हूँ कि कभी भी, और फे मैम ने भी इसको बड़े ही दानिशमंदी के साथ इस शो को किया है, मुझे पूरी उम्मीद ही नहीं, मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि मुल्ज़िमान जल्द से जल्द सलाह के पीछे आएंगे। सबका दर्द आपके साथ है जमाल साहब।
Ramakant Kaur, go ahead.
The system we are discussing, or
Mr. Kaur, if you can please in Hindi, we would appreciate it.
जलाल साहब, आपके दर्द में हम सब लोग आपके साथ हैं। बहुत खेदजनक बात हुई है ये, और ये वास्तव में ऐसे दिन हुई है जब हम सब एक हिंदू मुस्लिम भाई भाई का नारा देते आए हैं और हम सब एक देश में उसी तरह से रहते आए हैं। कुछ गलत लोगों के काम करने से ये कौमी रंग नहीं लेगा, ये बात की मैं आशा करता हूँ, अपेक्षा करता हूँ, और मेरी ईश्वर से यही प्रार्थना है कि आपके पुत्र को जन्नत दे, आपके पुत्र को न्याय मिलेगा। ये बात यहाँ सारे पैनलिस्ट कह रहे हैं, ये चैनल ने ये डिबेट चालू किया, ये चैनल ने उस चीज़ को बहुत भरसक प्रयास करके आगे लाने का प्रयास किया है, और हम सब लोग आपके दर्द में बराबर का शरीक करते हैं।
I want to take this to Kavita Srivastav. Kavita Srivastav, can the PUCL in any way aid this family in its fight for justice? It's perhaps its legal battle going forward. Is there anything you'd like to say to the parent of this victim?
जलालुद्दीन साहब को हम यही बोलना चाहेंगे कि आज बहुत ही पूरे देश भर में बहुत ज़्यादा एक तरीके से आउटरेज गुस्सा रहा है। जहाँ जहाँ ईद की नमाज़ हुई, काली पट्टी बांध के लोगों ने नमाज़ पढ़ी है। मैं राजस्थान से आती हूँ, वहाँ जगह जगह, और जहाँ तक कानूनी मदद की बात है, मुझे लगता बहुत सारे लोग तैयार हैं, PUCL उनमें से एक है। बहुत सारे लोग और संगठन पहुंच चुके हैं आपके घर, कल भी बहुत सारे जा रहे हैं और इस लड़ाई में हम आपके साथ हैं। और ये जो इस वक्त जुनैद के साथ हुआ, उस मासूम के साथ हुआ, इसको हम नहीं भूलेंगे। और ये जिस कदर मुसलमानों के साथ सलूक हो रहा है, चाहे वो राजस्थान में हो, आसाम में हो, इसको हम चाहते हैं ये बंद हो और जुनैद कोई ना हो। इंसान इंसान बराबर है, हम सभी इंसान हैं और मुसलमान की जाने
आप अपनी दुकानदारी मत चलाइए।
बहुत बहुत ज़रूरी है और इस देश में, इस हिंदुस्तान में मुसलमान उतना ही बराबर है। इसलिए हम चाह रहे हैं कि ये सारे मदद हो और संवेदना हो। आप चुप रहिए रमन जी, हमने आपको इंटरप्ट नहीं किया, मुझे बात करने दीजिए। हम सहयोग पूर्ण रूप से करेंगे और हम इंसाफ लेके रहेंगे। ये इस तरीके से खून बहा देना किसी बच्चे का ये कॉमन नहीं है, ये सामान्य चीज नहीं है। इसका न्याय होगा और जुडिशरी भी इस वक्त कटघरे में है अगर वो न्याय नहीं देती है। पुलिस तो है, पुलिस तो रहेगी और देयर इज नो डिवाइड, फेस द रियलिटी। रमन साहब
I think it's disrespectful. Sanjay Jha, is there a message you want to give Mr. Jalaluddin tonight?
जलालुद्दीन साहब, हम आपके साथ हैं, हम चिल्लाना नहीं चाहते हैं, हम आपके साथ हैं।
Please, I request both of you to maintain a certain level of decorum. Sanjay Jha, go ahead.
हम आपके साथ हैं। मुसलमानों की हत्या हो रही है, ये आप दुकानदारी चला रही हैं, उस बाप के दर्द को नहीं पहचान रही हैं।
Raman Malik, please. Sanjay Jha, go ahead.
मेरा जलालुद्दीन साहब से आप जो भी सुन रहे हैं, जलालुद्दीन साहब, आपके परिवार और आपका सारे
संजय झा, मिस्टर रमन मलिक,
मैं सिर्फ एक ही चीज बोलना चाहूंगा कि मैं उस बाप के दर्द को देख रहा हूँ।
Alright, Raman Malik, go ahead. Have your say. Raman Malik, go ahead. Have your say.
He's just.
मेरा जलालुद्दीन साहब से, उनके पूरे परिवार से एक ही चीज़ कहना है कि मैं इसको सिर्फ ये देखता हूँ कि एक बाप जिसने अपने बच्चे को 16 साल तक बड़ा करा हो और वो इस जहाँ बच्चे से वो आदमी बन रहा हो वहाँ खो दे, उस बाप की पीड़ा, और उस पीड़ा को कोई नहीं सहार सकता। वो बाप का शायद इतना बड़ा दिल हो बाप का ही दिल होता है जो इतना बड़ा दर्द को सह के सामने खड़ा रहता है। तो मैं सिर्फ इतना कहूँगा कि मैं आपका दर्द ख़त्म नहीं कर सकता, लेकिन मैं आपके दर्द को समझता हूँ और आपके दिवंगत पुत्र को प्रणाम करता हूँ, दिवंगत आत्मा को। साथ में मैं ये भी कहता हूँ कि ये जिन भी जिसे बोलना चाहिए जानवरों ने ये ऐसा काम करा है, उनको सलाखों के पीछे ज़रूर भेजना है। इसके लिए सरकार वचनबद्ध है। अपराध अपराध है और उसको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
Raman Malik,
लेकिन साथ हम इसके ऊपर लोगों को दुकानदारी नहीं करने देंगे।
I appreciate, Raman Malik, we have to use this as an example and make sure justice is served, but I also appeal to you to look into things like how the metal detectors failed to allow the knives on the train in the first place, why the train did not stop when the chain was pulled. Why is it that the railway police was not available on the train and at the stations? And when Junaid was brought into a train station, why is it that his own brothers, who are already injured, were the ones to have had to carry him out of there? Sanjay Jha, go ahead. Sanjay Jha, I have a few minutes. Go ahead.
There was another story told that there was reinforcements called.
Jalaluddin
so all that I'm saying is, let the truth come out, let there be a proper investigation, let the law act.
Okay. You know, Raman Malik, I let you have your say. I will please request you to respect the other panelists on the panel right now. Sanjay Jha, please go ahead.
मैं जलालुद्दीन साहब को इतना ही कहना चाहूँगा और बहुत संक्षेप में कहूँगा कि आप हमें माफ़ कर दीजिएगा, आप हमें माफ़ कर दीजिएगा। तो उससे ज़्यादा मैं कुछ नहीं कहना चाहूँगा। ये देश महान देश है, ये धर्मनिरपेक्ष देश है, ये सहनशील देश है, और कुछ पागल लोग जिनके दिल में घृणा है, आक्रोश है, वो भारत नहीं है, वो भारतीय नहीं है। वो भारतीय बनने की कोशिश करते हैं लेकिन भारतीय खून नहीं है उनमें। तो हमें माफ़ कर दीजिएगा, और मजहब की राजनीति, मजहब से ये देश आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा, और आपके माफ़ करने से ये देश मजबूत होगा। और अंत में आपके लिए और आपके परिवार के लिए हम लोग हमेशा प्रार्थना करेंगे और यही भविष्य में ये हमारा ये उम्मीद होगा कि आपकी जिंदगी लंबी होगी.
All right, Sanjay, I'm going to have to wrap up this conversation very quickly because we've run out of time. Our hearts go out to Mr. Jalaluddin and the rest of his family on this night of Eid as they spend it mourning instead of celebrating. But Junaid was Indian. Junaid was India. And we lost a piece of India last week. When we stabbed, collectively as a society, we stabbed a 16-year-old and let him bleed to death. Collectively as a society, we stood by and watched a 16-year-old child be beaten to death and knifed until he bled. And when he was laid on the platform of a train station and nobody came to help him, we each collectively participated in his murder. This is our India today. And that is a guilt we are all going to take to bed tonight. Because we did not do better. Because we did not stand by those who need our help. They might be underaged, they might be of a minority religion, they might be suspected of whatever. But mob murders in this country are on the rise because we, the larger population, are saying nothing, we're doing nothing. There is a law in place, we have a glorious constitution, but we stand aside and let the madness take over. If we don't stop this, this could be the beginning of the end of the India as we know it. We can't let this happen. My fellow Indians, we must rise up against this. This is simply not our India. Thanks for watching.